A few months ago when Sora first came out, I was on the search for something, anything that could possibly be as interesting and as pinpoint accurate and realistic as Sora has. Because up until Sora, it was very clear what was AI and what was not. Things were morphing into others, and it was very clear when you had an AI image. And so when I was researching some things that would be along the lines of Sora, I found a site called LTX Studio. But when I clicked on it, it asked me to join the beta, a waitlist for the beta. And that was about 4 months ago. You're gonna come with me and we're gonna take a first look at this website. Let's dive in. So before we get started, I want to let you know that LTX Studio is still in the beta phase. So things are subject to change, get better, etc., etc. So this is the LTX Studio, and there's really only 3 things that we can do from here. Create a story, visualize your concept, and start from scratch. Now let's dive into create a story. This is the first time I'm seeing this. If you want to see a follow-up to this video where I actually learn everything about LTX and maybe see what the premium features are, let me know in the comments down below and I'll take a quicker look at it. So from this, it seems like all I have to do is input a synopsis of what I want it to create, and it will create a video, not just a picture. It'll create a video. So I'm excited to see how long this video is, how long it takes, how realistic it is. But as you can see down here, it does give you examples of what you can create. And if I press the refresh button, it'll keep going. So if you don't have any idea what to create, you can come down here and take a look. Now, I did just watch the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. So what I did is I just created a very simple 1-sentence synopsis of a simple film. So a down on his luck detective finally has a break in a kidnapping case that could instantly turn his career around. What I want to see is how much liberty LTX puts into their video, how much they add. And then I want to come back and see if I can modify this prompt and make it a little more specific and what that'll change to the video. So let's click next. And it's already done. So that took about 10 seconds. It created the project name. It gave me a story overview. A down on his luck detective, Jack, gets a chance to redeem himself when he discovers a kidnapped girl, Emma. Together they unravel a web of deceit and corruption, bringing the criminals to justice and restoring Jack's reputation. And these are AI generated images that I can actually download and make my own. I can either clothing, going to be video with an audio track, which gets me excited. I didn't know about that one either. So let's see what other voices I can do. Because if this is the picture, I'm not going to change the picture of the girl, but let me see if I can change the voice.
Sweet.
Oh, nope.
In the middle of every life.
And should be British.
I've never been hurt by
Wrinkles or smiles have been.
Without that.
All right, so let's, Ghana. So we're not going to change anything else. We'll just change the voice, and I can add characters. This is actually really cool. So I like this style of this. If I did change it, let's see how quickly. So it will immediately change the 2 people in it, which is crazy. And it changed it to anime right away. Oh my goodness. Expressionism, HDR, photogenic, vaporware, card game, block game, monochrome, shadow box, dystopian. Let's do dystopian. It is not in alphabetical order. Let's do dystopian and let's see what it changes to. You guys are learning right along with me. Ooh, I did just finish Fallout 2, so I'm just gonna keep this blank for now. Again, I'm just here to test this. I want to see how much this can do on its own. Cinematic inspiration. So I already have dystopian. I'm gonna keep it like this. I do like the idea of it being noir, but I'm going to keep it like this for now. I can change the project name, but for now, I'm just going to keep everything the way it is. All I did was change the voice to make it a little more, not sound as childish as it was.
Don't settle for a relationship that won't be yourself.
All right, we're changing Jack's voice. Trent Ashford has been fired.
A man is not old as long as he's...
Genius is 1%
if you do what you've always done.
I believe
a modern man's man values respect and equality.
You're hired. All right, so let's start it up. Let's see what this creates. So immediately, it already has failed to generate background music. It's going to give me a storyboard, and then I can edit it from shot to shot. So each shot I can actually change. And it's giving me an entire story. This is crazy. So let's see how long each story is, but just for now, it's still editing it and putting it together. As you can see, these are being queued. And I do have the beta version, but this was all for free, so there is an upgrade option. So I'm excited to see if I do continue with this, what more the upgrade will do. Maybe it'll lengthen the amount of video, maybe it'll shorten the amount of time this takes. Although as I've been talking to you, it's already been loading. So it's got these 6 videos to load. Now it seems like it's doing 5 at a time. But let's just go up here. It says it gives me the prompt for each frame. It gives me the shot type, and then I can add sound effects. If I type in an echo, like somebody's echoing footsteps, and it gave me, well, this seems to all be tennis shoes, but what if I just type in echo? What would happen now? Cinematic, hit and echo. Ooh, dramatic. It seems like you're creating like a full-on movie over here. So it does say edit frame. So if I click edit frame, I can fill this in. I'm gonna come over here and let's see if I can actually remove these pillars. If I wanted a more open concept in my opening shot, and I didn't want any of these pillars in here, even if they'd be held up by magic. And look at that, almost completely. There's a little bit going on right over here, a mini window, but other than that, it's getting rid of it. It is having me do each shot individually, which makes sense. That one was completely on. Let's see, I'm gonna go back to the way it was just to keep it. I'm gonna click done, right? And it changed it a little bit because I did add the pillars over there on accident when I was trying to get rid of them. Hey, I can add a scene to each one of these frames, and it tells me what each of these is about. So each frame, dimly lit warehouse with shadows, Jack Thompson's determined eyes, scanning the warehouse, searching for clues. Emma Thompson, bound and gagged, eyes filled with fear and hope as she sees Jack Thompson. As a close-up of her shot, right? And then it pans to a bustling city, and then it goes into them going over evidence with their Indiana Jones top hats, right? And then finally it's ending with them walking out accomplished with a sense of pride and gratitude, right? After they present the evidence and presumably win over the case and Jack becomes the hero, right? So if I'm all set with these, again, I can edit each one. I can change each one if I wanted to. Change this, let's see, where this is seeing Jack Thompson for the first time, right? So let's do dramatic. Whoa. And she's scared, so we're gonna be, I want a suspenseful sound coming out. Suspenseful, I can't spell. I'm just gonna spell suspense. So she doesn't know who's coming, right? She's still being held hostage. So maybe there's a suspensing sound. So let's say I did that for all of these, right? I can preview it here. So this is what it's gonna look like. I can actually generate every single one of these. So because right now they're all static shots. And once I preview them and generate them, they're all, AI will seemingly flow all of it together. Well, let's see what happens.
I thought I'd lost my chance, but then I found her, and everything changed. The city's dark secrets were nothing compared to the strength I found in her. Together we faced the danger head-on, unraveling the truth that had eluded me for so long. In the end, justice prevailed and I found my purpose once more. She may have been the one in chains, but it was her bravery that set us both free.
Right, and that was for me with zero prompting, or I mean very little with the sound effects that I added, right? I wasn't able to specifically change how long each shot was, although if I go into shot editor, I can go and select each shot, select how long I want it to be, right? 3 seconds, 6 seconds, the scale of it. So I can actually have this pan around, right? If I change this, if I want a longer opening shot, right? And if I had better sound effects of like shoes stomping instead of tennis shoes, maybe that'll be better. I can even add an image over here and it can stylistically change it to match these other styles. Jack's face over here, maybe I wanted a close-up, but I can even change the weather, which is kind of crazy. I want the camera to actually pan in and have a close-up of him. So it's changing the shot right now, so now it's a close-up. And if I generate this one, let's say, so these are all the previews, but if I generate one of these 4, let's see if it'll make it even more realistic. Because right now, as you can see, it's blurry. There's not much facial features attached to Jack himself. Let's see, once I generate only one of them, if it'll fill in the blanks, make his face a little more readable, and actually have a shot. So let's see. There you go. That's much better. So I could go in and change it for each one. So maybe I want a bird's eye view of, I don't know where she is. She doesn't even know that she's about to be saved. Right? Or maybe she's just realizing that she's about to be saved. So we want to see her and her whole situation and where she is. Maybe we want a bird's eye view of where she is. That's not the bird's eye view. No. Again, I can keep messing with it and doing all this, but then I can go back into the storyboard. And again, I can change this voiceover. So as you can see, this is what it read with these first 3 shots. So it was reading this while it panned over all 3 shots. I can change what it says. I can actually change the scene sound itself. So over all of these, I can have maybe background music or sound effects.
I thought I'd lost my chance, but then I found her and everything changed.
Trying to see if I can change the sound itself. So if that was Jack's voice, maybe I would want to change his voice from here, but it doesn't seem like I can as of yet. Although if I go back into cast, there you go, I can change his voice. It seems like the narrator of the story is Jack, so if I wanted to change the narrator's voice, I would have to change Jack's voice. Doesn't seem like Emma has any lines, and I'm wondering how I would change it so that she has a line or she has a voice. Because right now she doesn't actually say anything, it's all voiceover. Again, I can keep messing with this. I can generative fill each and every frame. I can remove anything I want from every frame, and I can even adjust the camera angle. And so if I wanted to pan right or pan left, look at this, I can change everything. It's giving me the axis, the axes, excess. I can change it, and then if I click generate, and maybe I wanted it from this angle, it's generating everything that's missing. So it's going to give me Jack, but it's also going to fill in all of this. All of these images were generated, right? The camera movements were AI, the voice is AI. Every bit of this was created from scratch. I'm sure the more creative of you will be able to input a better voiceover or something along those lines. But for me, from literally just giving it a sentence prompt, this is kind of crazy. Is it game changing? And is it going to change the cinematic world? Absolutely not. Right? But it is a cool creative project for sure. If they can create and establish even more shots, create generative fill and more motion in between each of these scenes. All right, I'm excited to see where this goes from here. But as with all AI, and I've been saying this forever, this is not going to replace anybody anytime soon. This is definitely more of a thought experiment. That was creating a story. If I wanted to visualize my concept, right, I can upload a file, or I can input what it says right here. I can input anything from a full script, a few scenes, or a story, right? And I can go back and it'll do something similar. And here I'm going to input the same prompt. I'm going to click next. And here I can do something very similar. So now it gave me Jack Malone. Oh, look, it's Posty's little brother. So I can change the style again. I can change it to anything over here, origami, pixel art. And I like that it does give me the preview, as opposed to before it just gave me the category name and not a preview. So I didn't really know what Neon Punk would have looked like, right? Or a platformer would have looked like. I like that it's giving me the preview. Let's say I wanted to keep this, and it'll break it down. And now now I can add a scene. So this is more of a do-it-yourself kind of storytelling. So maybe I can say that the scene name is Beginning. Very technical term, I know. And maybe he's at a mall, and the lighting is overhead lighting from ceilings, and the weather is, well, they're inside, but it's clear, right? And I can change all this. I can change what the scene should be. So maybe I wanted him to be, maybe a man in the hoodie secretly slips Jack the file. I like that better. So that Jack can complete the case on his own. And there's voiceover. Maybe the voiceover just reads, this moment changed his life forever. So this definitely seems like a more manual way to do this, as opposed to when we were back here, right? Creating a story, it did everything for me. Creating a story, visualizing the concept, it's taking me step by step. Instead of doing it each for me, I have to do each step. So that's the difference between creating a story and visualizing the concept. The last part of this is literally starting from nothing. So starting from scratch and doing very similar things. So adding a character, making it, changing the style. My project name is going to be Reboot. I'm going to make it Origami. And the inspiration, now let's make it Noir. Noir Origami. So now I would have to actually create each character. So let's say now I have Emma, but now she's 28, and so it's actually making me do each of these. So right now it's giving me a blank canvas to do anything I want with. Let me just do the example, right? And red dress, sure. So now it's going to generate it based on what I wrote. Although it is not a word, there you go. And it automatically will generate it for me. But since I have it as an origami art style, this is what it created. All right, so then I'll click start. And again, I'd have to do the location, lighting, weather, everything done by hand. So I am excited to see where LTX goes from here. If maybe when I'm creating this, let me do some animations in between each scene. If I can put one scene on top of another. So maybe if I want a Jack inside the warehouse, if I can just drag it over and it'll click on it, right? Have Jack here instead of his background. I'm excited to see what LTX has in the future. But if you want to see more about LTX and want to learn more and want me to see maybe the premium features or the upgraded version, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm out.